Let me write this script for you right now. There's one thing I need to tell you before I write a word. The most dangerous prison on earth has no walls, no guards, and no locks. And you built it yourself. Every single brick. Here's the full script. There's a version of you, right now, existing in some parallel timeline, who made the decision you've been putting off, who said yes when fear told them no, who got uncomfortable on purpose. And that version of you, they don't even recognize the person you are today. That's not an insult. That's a warning. If you've ever felt like you're running on a treadmill, moving, grinding, trying, but somehow ending up in the exact same place every single year, this video is going to hit you like cold water to the face. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you isn't what most motivational channels are willing to say out loud. And if this kind of raw, no-filter storytelling is your thing, hit that subscribe button right now and ring the notification bell. I put out videos every week that are designed to rewire the way you think. Real stories, real psychology, no fluff. You don't want to miss what's coming. All right, let's get into it. Picture a man, mid-30s, decent job, decent apartment, decent car. He wakes up at the same time every morning, takes the same route to work, orders the same lunch, watches the same shows, talks to the same people about the same things. From the outside, his life looks completely fine, stable even. But inside, deep inside, in that quiet place he tries not to visit, there's this gnawing, this slow burn, this voice that whispers the same thing every single night before he falls asleep. Is this it? Is this really all there is? His name doesn't matter, because that man is not a single person. That man is millions of people. That man might be you. And here's the thing nobody tells you. The reason he's stuck isn't laziness. It isn't lack of motivation. It isn't even fear, not exactly. The reason he's stuck is something far more sinister, something the human brain was literally wired to do, something that feels like safety, but is actually the most dangerous state a person can live in. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will never look at your comfort zone the same way again. But first, I need to tell you something about a rat. Stay with me here, because this is where it gets interesting. In the 1950s, a neuroscientist named James Olds accidentally discovered something that would change our understanding of the human brain forever. He was running experiments on rats, implanting electrodes in their brains, stimulating different regions. And when he stimulated one particular area, what we now call the nucleus accumbens, the brain's reward center, the rats would do something extraordinary. They would press a lever to receive that stimulation again and again and again. They would skip food, skip water, skip sleep. Some rats pressed that lever over 7,000 times in a single hour. They would press it until they physically collapsed, until they died. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool rat story. What does that have to do with me being stuck in my comfort zone? Everything. Absolutely everything. Because your brain has the same reward system, and your comfort zone is your lever. Every time you retreat to something familiar, your couch, your phone, your routine, your same safe choices, your brain fires a small hit of dopamine. Not a big hit, not the kind that makes life feel electric, just enough to make you feel okay, just enough to stop you from reaching for more. And here's the ugly, uncomfortable, stomach-dropping truth. Your brain cannot tell the difference between surviving and thriving. It doesn't care if you're actually happy. It cares if you're safe. And safe feels exactly like stuck. Think about the last time you had a chance to do something that genuinely scared you. Maybe it was applying for that job, asking that person out, starting that business, moving to that city, posting that video, writing that first page. What happened? Be honest with yourself. A voice showed up. A calm, reasonable, totally rational-sounding voice that said, not yet, maybe later, you're not ready, what if it doesn't work, what if people laugh, what if you fail? And you listened to that voice because it sounded like wisdom,
It sounded like caution. It sounded like your friend. That voice is not your friend. That voice is a biological defense mechanism that evolution built into your brain 60,000 years ago, when being wrong meant getting eaten by a predator. It is ancient software running on a modern machine, and it is ruining your life in slow motion. Here's what nobody talks about when they talk about comfort zones. The zone doesn't stay the same size. Most people think of it like a bubble. You're either inside it or you're outside it. Push through it, find growth, come back stronger. Simple, clean, Instagram friendly. But that's not how it actually works. The comfort zone is alive. It expands or it shrinks. Every single day, based on your choices, it is changing size. And the terrifying part? When you consistently choose comfort over discomfort, when you hit snooze, avoid the hard conversation, scroll instead of create, say no to the opportunity that scares you, the zone doesn't just stay small, it gets smaller. The walls close in, the acceptable range of human experience narrows, and before you know it, even small challenges feel catastrophic, even minor uncertainties feel unbearable, even tiny risks feel life-threatening. This is how people end up in their 50s wondering where their life went, not because they made one big wrong decision, because they made 10,000 small, comfortable ones. I want you to meet someone else, a woman named Lynda. Real story, look her up, Lynda Weinman. In the 1990s, she was a freelance designer and professor who noticed her students were struggling to learn web design. There weren't many good resources. The internet was brand new. She was comfortable where she was. She had a job. She had stability. But she had this idea. What if she created an online learning platform? What if she recorded tutorials and put them on the internet? Everyone she told thought it was a weird idea, niche, too early, too risky. Her comfort zone said no. She said yes anyway. She launched lynda.com, and in 2015, LinkedIn bought it for $1.5 billion. Now, I'm not telling you that story to say quit your job and go build a billion-dollar company. I'm telling you that story because of what Lynda said in an interview afterward. She said the scariest moment wasn't the risk. The scariest moment was realizing how close she came to not doing it. How many times she almost talked herself out of it. How many mornings she woke up and the comfortable choice was sitting there, warm and easy, waiting for her. And she almost took it, almost every single day. That's the thing about the comfort zone. It doesn't ambush you. It seduces you. It's patient. It whispers instead of shouts. It offers you just enough to keep you from wanting more. And here's where the story takes a turn that I did not expect when I started researching this video. There's a concept in psychology called the Yerkes-Dodson law. It was discovered in 1908 by two psychologists, Robert Yerkes and John Dodson, and it describes something called the performance curve. Here's what it shows. When there is too little stress, too little challenge, too little friction in your life, performance doesn't just plateau, it drops. You get worse. Boredom creates cognitive decay. Comfort creates mental softness. The brain, just like a muscle, atrophies when it isn't challenged. But here's the part that blew my mind when I first read it. The curve goes both ways. Too much stress is also destructive. The sweet spot, the peak of human performance, creativity, growth, and fulfillment, exists right at the edge of your comfort zone, not inside it, not way outside it, right at the edge, the place that feels a little scary, a little uncertain, a little like you might fail. That feeling, that tightness in your chest, that slight nausea when you're about to do something big, that is not a warning sign. That is a signal. That is your brain telling you this matters, this is real, this is where you grow. And now I have to tell you the most important part of this whole story, because we've been talking about psychology and neuroscience and comfort zones, but I haven't yet told you the actual mechanism, the actual ugly under-the-hood truth about why people stay stuck even when they know they're stuck, even when they've watched 100 videos like this one, even when they understand everything I've said so far. because knowledge alone doesn't break the pattern. There's something else going on. It's called identity, specifically the story you tell yourself about who you are. See, the comfort zone isn't just a behavioral pattern, it's a reflection of your identity. And your identity is the collection of stories you've repeated to yourself so many times they've calcified into beliefs. I'm not a risk taker. I'm not the kind of person who does big things. I've always been like this. That's just who I am. Maybe next year. Maybe when things settle down. Maybe when I have more time, more money, more confidence, more certainty. These aren't just excuses. These are identity statements. And your brain, being the extraordinarily efficient pattern-matching machine that it is, will do everything in its power to make sure your behavior aligns with your identity, because consistency feels like integrity.